Well, hello, and welcome to this, the very first episode of The Making of Infinite Worlds, an epic sci-fi movie that I've spent my life dreaming of making. Now, this being the very first episode, I have no idea where this will eventually take us. After the release of my second feature film, Invasion Planet Earth, I decided that I was going to spend the rest of my career doing the thing that I wanted to do, and that was making more sci-fi movies. I love sci-fi, I've always loved sci-fi, and you can blame George Lucas really. If it wasn't for Star Wars, I certainly wouldn't be so obsessed with making these kind of films. But I had the passion when I was a child to do it, and that passion has never actually left me. It was during lockdown in 2020 that I set about writing the first of what would ultimately be a 3-part film franchise called Of Infinite Worlds. It was a story with strong characters, a very powerful emotive story, and one that I hope will really touch and move and inspire people for generations to come. Well, that's me, overambitious as ever. Of course, it's alright having all these ideas, but how do you pay for it? Or how do I pay for it? Now, I'm not a wealthy guy, and I certainly don't have people like Netflix or Disney or Amazon behind me, so I'm definitely a true independent filmmaker. So I've looked at various ways of doing it across the years. The first of these, which is a bit of an old faithful for me, is crowdfunding. One of the great things that I'm very, very lucky to have is quite a large and very, very supportive bunch of people who have backed me over the years and continue to do so. And I guess you guys are probably listening, so thank you so much for that. So as I began work on the script, I began my first crowdfunding campaign. Hello, I'm Simon. And in late 2020, I managed to raise about £11,000. This money was used to set up the special effects of the new film. So I learned Unreal Engine software and started getting the spaceships made for the film. I used this money to pay for a pilot as well. It was also in this period that I realised that at the time it was just one film, Of Infinite Worlds, but as I started to develop it, I realised that there was a second one and ultimately a third. However, even though I had a fairly successful film under my belt, I realised that this, again, was going to be a lot of work and take a lot of time. And so I decided to put this series together so you, our lovely audience, can see just what goes into making an independent sci-fi movie. And just to clarify, I don't really want to be the independent low-budget filmmaker. I want to be like Steven Spielberg or George Lucas and make those huge epic films. But as yet, the money at that level hasn't come in, so I'm going to keep going at this level and see where it takes me. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, when ready, stand by, and action.